What's going on, guys? The Comics Kid 2099 here. Welcome to day 190 of the 365-day graphic novel review challenge. Today, I want to talk to you about Demons of Sherwood. This is by Bo Hampton and Robert Tennell. This is the story of Robin Hood and his gang being pulled out of retirement to go on one more adventure. They have to save some innocent people, fight some bad guys. The usual thing that you expect from normal Robin Hood stories, except this time there is a little bit of supernatural flavor involved. And I feel like this is the perfect balance between old and new concerning Robin Hood. It feels just familiar enough if you are familiar with movies like Prince of Thieves or the Russell Crowe Robin Hood movie, or really any Robin Hood story. It feels just familiar enough. You will recognize these characters. They feel like the characters that you know, but it feels new enough with all the demons and the mysticism and stuff going on here that it's not the exact same story that you've seen before. And so if you don't want to see a repeat of all those Robin Hood movies that you've seen before, this is definitely something that feels just fresh enough that you can feel justified in reading this and enjoying it as its own new piece. And I really like that. As far as the demons and mysticism goes, I actually wish that they were more present in this book than what they are. If you look at the title of this book, it's titled Demons of Sherwood. You would think that they would play a bigger role in this book than what they do. They don't really come into play in this story until roughly the last fourth of this book. I wish that there was more of this book about Robin Hood fighting demons and stuff, but we don't really get a lot of that until the very end of this book. But we do get a lot of good character stuff about Robin Hood, kind of becoming an alcoholic and just becoming basically useless as far as going on adventures is concerned, and we get a lot of good character stuff about that in the first two-thirds of the book or so, and we get to see him interacting with his merry men and with Marion, and we find out that basically all these guys kind of hate Robin now, and it's very interesting to see that play out. And I almost wish that this had been the beginning of an ongoing series. I think that a lot of this book would have worked even better than what it does already if it was part one of an ongoing series. In a way, it kind of feels like it's a pilot episode for a series that never got picked up. It introduces a lot of character elements and plot elements that ultimately never get to be explored as much as I would like to see them be explored, because this is the only Demons of Sherwood story that we have. And if this had been the beginning of an ongoing series, it would have been really neat to get to see Robin interacting with this new character, Bronwyn, and getting to see Will Scarlet interacting with this girl that he kind of falls in love with here. And then maybe we could have slowed down some of these plot elements a little bit if this had been part of an ongoing series. For example, Will Scarlet just falls in love with this gypsy girl kind of out of nowhere. We don't really know anything about this girl at all. For that matter, we don't know a whole lot about Will Scarlet, but he's fleshed out more than the girl that he falls in love with. And I think if this had been part of an ongoing series, then we could have slowed down that relationship a little bit, get to know her a little bit more, and then this romance would have felt a little bit more earned. But as is, we get a lot of mystical stuff here that I think it would have been interesting to see play out in an ongoing series. It would have been just really cool to see Robin Hood fighting demons on an ongoing basis. I think that would have been really neat. But we get to see all these characters have kind of gotten to a different place in life than what we usually see them in most Robin Hood stories. For example, when Robin and the gang, they go to this monastery to try and have sanctuary, and Friar Tuck is there, Robin knocks on the door, and Tuck opens it and sees that it's Robin and slams the door in his face. It's interesting getting to see these characters in a very different place than what we expect to see them in most Robin Hood stories. And I really think that it would have been very fun to explore that a little bit more in many more stories. Get to see why does Friar Tuck feel the way that he does about Robin Hood. Get to explore that in an ongoing capacity and have more than just this one story to play around with that dynamic. But overall, I really like this story. I like getting to see the fantasy getting injected into the Robin Hood mythos. That's not something that we often get to see with Robin Hood stories. And I liked getting to see Robin portrayed in a different way than what he usually is. Most of the time, Robin is portrayed as being perfect and he can do no wrong. This story kind of has him as possibly the most fallible character in this entire saga. He is very human and he makes mistakes, more so than most of the other characters in this book. There are other characters here who make mistakes too, but that involves a huge spoiler, and I won't get into that here. But I really like this book, and if you guys like Robin Hood and you like demons, then you definitely need to check out Demons of Sherwood. I really like this story quite a bit, and I hope that you guys liked this review, and if you did, be sure to check out some of my other videos that I will be doing throughout the rest of this year. In the meantime, I hope that you guys will like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of the day. Catch you later.